survival mode right now is not good enough. It's why Gervonta Davis, one of boxing's most fascinating knockout artists and one of the attractive pound-for-pound kings of this generation. His record speaks for itself, with a massive 28 knockout wins in 30 fights, giving him a 93% knockout percentage.
Name a part of the Ghostbusters theme is
Lou down goes Romero on a beautiful left. If Shakur Stevenson is one of the most boring fighters for putting people to sleep outside the ring, then Tank Davis is one of the most eye-catching fighters for putting people to sleep inside the ring. Broken jaws, concussions, swollen and bloodied faces, broken ribs, and funny falls are a bit of the kind of experiences Gervonta Davis's opponents get faced with when they lock horns with him in the ring.
You know,
goes to the body with the right. There's a jab. 1-2. So Davis.
On a big shot to the body, every one of Gervonta Davis's opponents has had great plans. In fact, many of them have been very unbeaten and cocky until they got hit by Tank's powerful hand. Like Mike Tyson once said, everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the face. Let's take a look at 8 times when Gervonta Davis punished cocky and boastful fighters that'll be remembered forever. On a vicious left uppercut, and he's out. It was Gervonta Davis's pay-per-view debut, and he wound up and unleashed a scintillating left uppercut that knocked Leo Santa Cruz out cold for a sensational 6th-round knockout. An instant knockout of the year frontrunner. Going to fold from his, oh my, the punctuated victory before just north of 9,000 fans spread out at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio gave Tank the WBA super featherweight title to add to his existing WBA lightweight title. Uppercut from the opening bell, Davis grinded and launched that left uppercut, with the shot landing on some attempts and just missing on others. As the bout continued, the two champions took turns trading fire in electric sequences. However, every time Santa Cruz engaged in the phone booth, he left himself vulnerable. He did something that I was even shocked by. The strategy blew up in Santa Cruz's face in the 6th when Davis cornered him against the ropes, downloaded information in real time, and detonated that wicked left uppercut, which crumpled the Mexican fighter in a heap.
which was stand toe-to-toe against a bigger puncher than Gervonta Davis.
First on the list, you have a fighter who wasn't only cocking out of the ring but in the ring as well, and was almost becoming the second fighter to go the distance with John Davis until the tragedy happened. Yuri Orki's Gamboa double jabbed, and then the left hand dropped. Gant Davis went to the 12th round for the first time in his career against Gamboa, but he avoided going the distance with yet another knockout as Gamboa hit the canvas with a thud.
Double jab and then the left hand dropping Gamboa.
Referee Jack Rice didn't even bother registering a count and waved off the fight to grant Davis the win. Despite adding a world lightweight title to his 2 career super featherweight championships, Davis was critical of his performance. He thought he should have put out a hobbling 38-year-old Gamboa way earlier, but insisted that needing 2 attempts to make weight Friday didn't affect him. If anything, Davis got a valuable learning experience. Davis first dropped Gamboa with a left hook to the body in the 2nd round. The Cuban fighter rose from the canvas following that knockdown, favoring his right leg. After the fight, Gamboa told Gray, "I think I ruptured my Achilles tendon." Still, Davis, despite being 13 years younger and way more explosive, couldn't put away Gamboa as the veteran hung tough on pure heart and guts. Davis showed great presence of mind during the 8th round when he stepped back, created space, and uncorked a left to drop Gamboa for the 2nd time in the bout. 4 rounds later, Davis finally closed out the show. Next was a fighter who believed so much in his 6-inch height advantage. Sadly, his advantage couldn't take him past the 11th round. Here you have Mario Barrios' double pump. After the fight,
ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the State Farm Arena here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Grant Tank Davis called his move up 2 weight classes to the pay-per-view in Atlanta a move that proved he was daring to be great. Those who watched his performance would be hard-pressed to disagree.
You don't want to overcommit either with Davis.
monstrous punch.
Yeah, Davis scored the Ring Magazine 2020 Knockout of the Year with that.
Davis, a 26-year-old rising star, headlined his second consecutive PPV card and added a world title in a third weight class by stopping Mario Barrios, the World Boxing Association regular champion, at 140 pounds in round 11 of a thrilling and dramatic slugfest inside State Farm Arena. Big difference in Barrios' doubles with the jab. There's a right hand again.
Punch.
Yeah, Davis scored the Ring Magazine 2020 Knockout of the Year with that.
You know, Davis normally lands 37% of its punches.
The scores, although Davis was leading on all three scorecards at the time of the stoppage, Barrios was busier and largely fighting him on what appeared to be even terms throughout a series of competitive and exciting rounds. To close the fight, Davis, a native of Baltimore, rallied in round 11 after a hot start from Barrios to floor him for the third time in the fight with a left uppercut to the body. After Barrios made it back to his feet, a flurry from Davis along the ropes forced referee Thomas Taylor to jump in at 2:13 of the round.
For Barrios,
Now make the mistakes to left-hand. Davis proved to be the bigger puncher despite giving up nearly 6 inches in height in his junior welterweight debut. Just 9 months after recording the knockout of the year in 2020 by finishing Leo Santa Cruz with an uppercut in round 6 of their junior lightweight bout, Davis appeared as if he seized momentum for good in round 8 when a lead right hook surprised Barrios and dropped him hard. Looking to survive, I knew Barrios was hurt. I just had to catch him at the right time, Davis said. Floyd came to me and was honest. He told me I was down. He said, "Show me that you are great." This man set the tone. I'm just following in his footsteps, Floyd. I appreciate you. I'm thankful to be in this position. Davis was able to rally even bigger down the stretch to stun him with a big shot leading up to the stoppage. Davis outlanded Barrios by a margin of 96-93, according to CompuBox. Both fighters landed 17 body shots in total, but it was Barrios who used a steady attack of them late to help slow Davis down, walking through fire left on TW Barrios' head in resolve.
Through the guard by, been down in their respective pro careers.
there it is.
And left by.
Davis wanting to get the overhand left in, and there actually it was a pretty straight.
You remember the fighter that promised to whoop Tank's bum? You shouldn't think too far to get that. You definitely would also remember Leonard Ellerby mocking the fighter's promoter for saying he will dominate Tank. Perhaps you still don't get it. We're talking about Tank's latest victim, Frank Martin.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis' 5th appearance in Las Vegas, headlining his 7th consecutive pay-per-view, and in the main event here on the 100th Championship Fight Night at the MGM Grand Garden Arena for the first time.
As a reminder, obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times, touch him up, good luck.
Well, it turned out to be an ironic statement after Tank sent him to the canvas. Despite snapping a career-long layoff of 14 months, lightweight superstar Gervonta Davis proved on Saturday that he indeed ain't afraid of no Ghost or any other fighter.
Boxing skills, yes. It's not even so much as an exciting fighter. Good combination lands for Martin.
Again, you can't get repetitive if you're Martin.
No way.
Davis is reading you.
Instantly, he'll respond.
For that matter. If you're Martin, you definitely want to awe with Martin says he's going to spook the entire division. It's strategic patience, and for Frank Mark, who's good at using the jab, the count of Derek J. Davis, whose team was dressed in Ghostbusters gear as he walked to the ring inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena to the movie theme song, took care of unbeaten top contender Frank the Ghost Martin with relative ease to defend his WBA title at 135 pounds. I mean, just by he's making Frank Martin work. In his first fight since knocking out Ryan Garcia in their blockbuster pay-per-view card last April with a 44-day jail term in between for violating the terms of his house arrest, the 29-year-old Davis looked both menacing and spectacular in how he repeatedly walked down Martin before viciously stopping him at 129 of round 8. After a slow start, which he ascribed to being rusty, Davis began to routinely walk Davis from corner to corner and unleash power shots after taking away his.
The crowd anticipating it. Martin, Davis saying, bring it. Of course he wants him to bring it. Don't get counter with the left.
Opponents jab due to the threat of his power. Eventually, That same power caught up with Martin as Davis landed a left uppercut in the corner to stun him before nearly knocking him out cold with a left cross to the body by Davis. That could only last so long. You don't want to keep tempting Davis to really just move the mill. Yes, it's not even so much as an exciting Martin 29 was wobbly as he reached his feet at the count of 10, but referee Harvey Dock waved off the fight after looking into his eyes. Davis, who targeted the body throughout, landed an absurd 53% of his power shots, according to CompuBox in the PBC on Prime Video PPV main event for the JB for Martin. Best Connect Martin landed slightly more punches overall, 81-79, but it was the trademark efficiency of Davis that won out as he went on to land 44% of his total punches. It was the uppercut that hurt him, boom. Davis said, "I've been around for a long time, and I have been training since I was 7 and competing since I was 8. It's like second nature for me. It's just about staying focused and making sure my mind is on the road to coming out on top."
Once he stunned him with that uppercut.
The undefeated WBA lightweight champion of the world, Gervonta Davis.
Although Martin was able to gain back respect at times by exploding out of the corner with clean left hands to keep Davis honest while causing a bruise around his right eye, he was never able to follow up with anything menacing enough to keep Davis from unleashing relentless pressure over the final rounds. There's trouble here.
The millimeters, his defense, his ability to utilize his ring IQ and his boxing skills. Yes, it's not even so much as an exciting fighter. Good combination lands for Martin.
There's the uppercut, and there's the left hand way out the left hand. Just put him in competition. At 140, we definitely wouldn't have missed boxing's biggest trash talker on this list. As lousy as he was, all it took to silence him was a big punch from Davis. You know it's Rayleigh Romero. Punch is the left for nearly all of the first 6 rounds of his bout with Gervonta Davis. Rolando Romero fought a disciplined fight, using his reach and jab to keep Davis from doing much offensively to Davis's attempts to get inside and land his trademark left hands and uppercuts. Romero seemed to feel he had the right moment to amp up his attack in the 6th round as he pursued Davis to the ropes and looked to unload with his wild power punches. Davis calmly let loose with a left-hand counter that caught Romero clean and sent him face first into the ropes before sliding down to the canvas. Romero was able to beat the count and rise to his feet, but the referee did not like Romero's response to his instructions and waved the fight off, giving Davis another highlight reel knockout in a young career already filled to the brim with fight-ending shots. By being able to get all the way in because Romero there was a good left. The crazy thing is, "I didn't even throw that hard," Davis said of the fight-ending punch, comparing it to Juan Manuel Marquez's Davis 28, who reunited with former promoter Floyd Mayweather before the fight, hugged his longtime mentor after the victory with a huge smile on his face.
You got to sign that dotted line.
Tank, following up on that, that's Matt Harris from the Washington Times. What do you see as the biggest obstacle kind of remaining in the negotiations to agree upon?
Yeah, he agree with everything.
Okay. And then,
Despite the narrative surrounding this fight that the winner might become the new face of the sport, Davis spent most of the promotion reminding media members he already is, which was hard to debate following his performance.
Fighters, it's a lot of fighters that if you watch, they do everything I do.
Although Davis's power was the biggest story in this main event of a Showtime PPV, it was the advantages in technique, experience, and ring IQ that ultimately helped him set up the finish.
After
Davis, but the one he
made him count. Don't overcommit or do not force.
Even though Garcia outlanded him by a margin of 39-35 according to show stats in this largely tense bout with low output, Davis landed a sizzling 48% of his power shots overall. He said that he was going to knock out Garcia, who has not been jabbing, double jabbing. He's quick with the jab as well. Garcia came out hot and had success using quick right hands and mauling shots inside in round 2 to get Davis's attention. But a beautiful counter right hand knocked Garcia down hard after he missed a lead left hook.
in that first round, Garcia putting the pressure on Davis, landing the right and left. Punches landed in the first 3 minutes.
Davis, who was leading on all 3 scorecards at the time of the stoppage, spent the majority of the fight landing clean shots to the body in order to slow Garcia, 24, down. Ultimately, it was a focus on the body that finished Garcia off for good. At the same time as Garcia gets that right hand, throws this right, the end of the fight brought Ryan Garcia to the reality that Tank was the better fighter. And while they have recently been on good terms, the trash talking continued afterwards. Tank is a great fighter, and I take my hat off to him, Garcia said. We talked a lot of, but he knows it's all love at the end of the day, and I take my hat off to him. He was the better man.
Ryan Garcia tasting defeat for the first time in paralyzing fashion.
Despite the heavy trash talk between them, much of which centered upon the 10 pounds rehydration clause that Davis mandated in the negotiation, both fighters embraced after the finish, which aligned with Davis's pre-fight prediction of a 7th-round knockout. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.